Today's episode is brought to you by our lead sponsor, Safe House Project.
Hey, this is Zan at The Pour Over.
And this is Bailey at The Pour Over.
Today, we're talking about the next steps for the government's reopening. President Trump threatening BBC with a billion-dollar lawsuit over a January 6th documentary. Visa and Mastercard agreeing to a massive $38 billion settlement. And other top news for Wednesday, November 12th. Stay informed while remaining focused on Christ with The Pour Over.
Here's your quote of the day. The mind is its own place, and in itself can make heaven of hell and a hell of heaven. John Milton. Let's get started with some espresso shots.
The government's prepping to reopen its doors. The Senate approved a spending bill Monday to end the longest shutdown in U.S. history, sending it to the House for a midweek vote. White House officials urged speedy passage, and President Trump indicated he'll Sharpie it once it hits his desk, the final step needed to reopen the government. Here are some of the things the bill would do. First, provide stopgap funding for the entire government through January 30th. Second, fully fund Veteran Affairs, military construction, the legislative branch, and the Department of Agriculture, including SNAP, through September 30th, 2026. And third, reverse mass layoffs of federal workers during the shutdown. Senate Republicans have promised a separate mid-December vote on healthcare tax credits. Meanwhile, Trump floated docking pay for air traffic controllers who missed shifts during the shutdown and offering $10,000 bonuses to those who didn't. Our hope is never contingent on a political outcome. It's much more secure than that. Regardless of whether things get worse or better during your lifetime, everything eventually ends well for followers of Christ. Job 12:10 says, "The life of every living thing is in his hand, as well as the breath of all humanity."
The British Broadcasting Corporation, aka BBC, is in hot tea over its January 6, 2021 documentary. The film, released last October, featured clips from Trump's speech urging his supporters to protest the 2020 election results. But a recently leaked internal report revealed that BBC had edited out Trump's calls to march, quote, peacefully. On Sunday, POTUS's lawyers warned the BBC to retract the documentary's, quote, false, defamatory, disparaging, and inflammatory statements, apologize, and, quote, appropriately compensate Trump by Friday, or face a $1 billion lawsuit. The same day, the media giant's director and new CEO resigned amid the report's broader allegations that BBC leadership, quote, repeatedly failed to address systemic editorial bias. BBC Chair Samir Shah apologized for the misleading edit, calling it a, quote, error in judgment, but denied any allegations of widespread bias. Here's a verse to consider when checking your own heart for bias. Keep me from the way of deceit, and graciously give me your instruction. I have chosen the way of truth. I have set your ordinances before me. I cling to your decrees. Lord, do not put me to shame. I pursue the way of your commands, for you broaden my understanding. Psalm 119, verses 29 through 32.
Visa and Mastercard reached a $38 billion settlement with retailers on Monday after 20 years of legal swiping. The deal targets the ballooning credit card transaction fees, which are between 2 and 2.5%, that retailers pay banks and card issuers every time you swipe or insert or tap. If the court approves, the settlement would trim fees for merchants and relax the, quote, honor all cards rule, meaning if a store accepts one kind of Visa, it's gotta accept them all. Retailers could opt to reject specific cards with higher transaction fees, like your favorite airline rewards card, or pass the costs on to shoppers. Mastercard says the settlement means, quote, more acceptance choices, reduced costs, and simplified rules for merchants. Retailer representatives say the compromise is smoke and mirrors because minuscule savings won't make a dent in the millions in fees merchants pay to big banks. Whether your card is declined in the checkout line or you're racking up more rewards than ever, remember, your possessions don't define you. Earthly things will all pass away, so keep your focus on the giver rather than the gifts. 1 John 2, verses 15 through 17 says, "Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride in one's possessions, is not from the Father, but is from the world. And the world with its lust is passing away, but the one who does the will of God remains forever."
Human trafficking isn't just an over-there problem. It's happening right here in the U.S. An estimated 300,000 people are being trafficked in America right now, and most were first sold as children. Even when they get a chance to run, sometimes there's no safe way out, and they get pulled right back in. Safe House Project is helping children get to safety and stay there by equipping communities to spot trafficking and funding urgent escapes. They cover what's needed in those crucial moments: a way to escape, shelter, and resources for lasting freedom. Trafficking in the U.S. is at crisis levels, and requests for help to escape are higher than ever. Just $40 provides a safe ride that takes a child from captivity to freedom. Safe House Project can't miss the moment when a child is ready to escape, and your gift makes sure they don't. Give a child the way out. Go to safehouseproject.org/TPO or check the link in the show notes to give now.
In other brews, here's a rapid round of updates. President Trump's pardoning more than turkeys this month. POTUS issued pardons to 70-plus people accused of attempting to overturn the 2020 election results, including his then-lawyer Rudy Giuliani, and, quote, alternate state electors, aka GOP activists who allegedly falsely claimed to be in the Electoral College. It's a mostly symbolic gesture, since the pardonees aren't facing federal charges.
Hormone replacement therapies for menopause are shedding their highest-risk label. The FDA said Monday that it will remove the black box warnings from these products, which are used to treat hot flashes and other menopause symptoms, saying older studies overstated certain risks, like breast cancer, stroke, and dementia. Updated packaging will still list those risks without the most severe label and emphasize safer timing.
The White House had a first-of-its-kind visit on Monday. President Trump hosted Syria's president, Ahmed al-Sharaa, the former leader of a U.S.-designated terror group who, until about 11 months ago, had a $10 million bounty on his head. During the visit, Syria committed to joining a U.S.-led coalition against ISIS, and Uncle Sam announced a 180-day waiver of major sanctions against Syria.
A rush-hour car explosion in New Delhi killed at least 8 and injured 20 outside the Red Fort, a 17th-century fortress frequented by tourists. Police are investigating it as an act of terrorism, the first reported terror attack on India's heavily guarded capital city since 2011. Prime Minister Modi promised that, quote, all those responsible will be brought to justice.
The Oracle of Omaha is, quote, going quiet. Warren Buffett, the 95-year-old investing legend, shared his final Berkshire Hathaway shareholder letter as CEO Monday. The 8-page release offered health updates, he's still going strong, praised the good life in Nebraska, warned against envy and greed, and addressed the, quote, acceleration of his philanthropy. Buffett's successor, Greg Abel, will take over in January.
That's all we have for today. Thanks so much for listening, TPO fam. If you're listening on the Apple Podcast app, give us a 5-star rating and drop a review. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a follow and hit the notification bell to never miss a new episode. We're grateful for your support, and we hope you have a great weekend. Catch you on Monday.
Hey, Nate at the Pour over here. I want you to know about a must-listen in my podcast queue, Theology in the Raw. Not every guest on the show sees things the same way, and that's the point. Listening to tough theological topics get hashed out from a variety of angles helps me to think deeply and love widely. Theology in the Raw tackles faith, culture, sexuality, and other hot topics with honesty and humility. With over 2,000 episodes and guests from across the Christian spectrum, you'll be challenged, encouraged, and reminded that you're not alone. Search Theology in the Raw on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.